Good evening, friends. God bless you. Today we are going to read amazing story from First King chapter 3, where God appears to Solomon in dream and says that ask for whatever you want me to give you. Is it not an amazing thing that God appears to you in a dream and says, ask whatever you want? Why God appeared to Solomon and asked him, then ask for whatever you want me to give it to you? What Solomon did? Why God cannot appear to you and me and tell us that ask for whatever you want me to give it to you? Or do you want God to appear to you in dreams just like Solomon and tell you that ask for whatever you want me to give you? To understand why God went to Solomon, God did not appear to his father, King David, but God appeared to Solomon in dream. We wanted to read this story, first 5 verses in 1 King chapter 3. Solomon made an alliance with Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and married his daughter. He brought her to the city of David until he finished building his palace and the temple of the Lord and the wall around Jerusalem. The people, however, were still sacrificing at the high places because the temple had not yet been built for the name of the Lord. Solomon showed his love for the Lord by walking according to the instruction given by him by his father David. Except in King James Version, the word is only. I don't know why in NIV it is except, but it is only. He offered sacrifices and burned incense on the high places. The king went to Gibeon to offer sacrifice, for that was the most important high place. And Solomon offered 1,000 burnt offering on that altar. At Gibeon, the Lord appeared to Solomon during the night in dream, and God said, ask for whatever you want me to give it to you. To understand why God gave this kind of promise to Solomon, we have to understand 3 questions. One is, who was Solomon? Number 2, what Solomon did? And number 3, where Solomon did what he did. Let us start with who was Solomon. Solomon was not a very handsome looking guy. The conclusion I'm making is, or let me say, he was not as handsome as his brother Absalom or Adonijah. Because for both their brothers, Adonijah and Absalom, Bible clearly says that they were handsome looking, nice looking king's son. It is not written for Solomon. Number 2, when he became king, he was 20 years old. Bible doesn't say that, but you can calculate because he reigned for 40 years and he died at the age of 60. So when he became king, he was a young king, 20 years of age. And then his heart was right with God from the beginning. If you remember, if you read chapter 2 King chapter 1, one of the son of King David, Adonijah. King David is still alive. He is very old. But Adonijah rebelled against the king. And he declared himself a king over Israel. Not only that, when he declared himself king, number of people, including the priests, went with him. So he had a support of people. He rebelled. And when King David declared King Solomon as a king over Israel, he was afraid. And then what this young king, 20 years of age, he pardoned his brother Adonijah for rebelling against his father. By pardoning, he's taking a risk. He could rebel tomorrow because he is older, peoples are with him, but he didn't do anything. He said that he told Adonijah, as long as you will do right thing, you will live. Not a single hair on your head will be disturbed or fallen to the ground. He promised him that he will live, which he did not do. Adonijah did what is not right, and he was killed later on. But Solomon's heart was forgiving heart. He did not think for himself, but he forgave him. He also forgave Shimei. If you read that 1 King chapter 2, when King David told Solomon what to do with Shimei, because basically he said take a revenge, because Shimei mocked David and he rejected his kingdom. So, but when Solomon became king, he called Shimei and said that, Shimei, I'm not going to kill you. You build your house in Jerusalem and live happily. The only one condition, do not leave Jerusalem. Shimei lived for a long time peacefully under King Solomon. But one day he left Jerusalem and he died. But King Solomon was forgiving his enemies. The next question we address, what Solomon did. We read in the verse 3, Solomon showed his love for the Lord. Now, this love is not like ordinary love, I love you. No, it is just like if you fall in love with somebody first time, you're thinking about that person day and night, whether sleeping or eating or driving or do any work you do. You're always thinking about, you wanted to be with that person whom you love. That kind of love Solomon showed to Lord. The Lord is used here, capital L-O-R-D. It is Yahweh, triune God. So he was showing his affection to God. And then he did everything that what his father instructed him. That he says that, and observe what the Lord your God requires. Verse 3. Observe that Hebrew word is mishmereth. Mishmereth is very beautiful word. It means guarding. Guarding. You guard yourself that you do the right thing. You don't fall in trap. You do the right thing. That was his father's instruction. Walk in obedience to God. Keep his decrees and commandment. And then one more thing, King David told Solomon about the promise that God has given King David. If your descendants watch how they live, and if they walk faithfully before me with all their heart and soul, you will never fail to have a successor on the throne of Israel. His heart was loving God. His heart was forgiving heart. He followed everything what his father said, and then he clinged on the promise. He believed the promise that was given to King David, his father. How many promises God has given you and me in Bible? Are we truly depending on those promises, believing on those promises? And then his Bible says that he offered 1,000 sacrifice, burnt offering. Burnt offering. Burnt offering is in front of God, and in burnt offering you have to burn the animal completely. Think about the logistics to take this 1,000 animal and then burn them, and then you have to do, they might have done in 12 hours of time during daytime, because Bible says that in the dream in the night God came to him. So he must have done during the daytime. And what about the blood and ashes and the wood they need for burning? Whatever it takes, he wants to offer burnt offering. Burnt offering started with Noah. When he came out of the flood, from the ark, he offered burnt offering. Burnt offering also Abraham offered his son. He was going to offer his son as his burnt offering. It is in remembrance and obedience to God. He offered 1,000. Why not 700, 500, 600? Why 1,000? 1,000 in Bible is a divine completion. So he's taking God's promise. He said, God, I believe on your promises that you will do what you are saying. Divine completion. That is why he offered 1,000. Now we address who was Solomon, what he did. Third question, where he did. He offered this sacrifice in Gibeon. Why he did not offer sacrifices in Jerusalem or nearby town? He selected Gibeon, which was far away, exactly 97 miles or 157 kilometers. Why he has to go all the way? There was no easy transportation in those times. But he chose to leave Jerusalem. He did not afraid that somebody, like my half-brother Adonijah, somebody will rebel, and he left Jerusalem, the capital of his kingdom. He went to Gibeon. Why Gibeon? Because Gibeon is a place where the tabernacle was. You know, Moses built the tabernacle in the Old Testament time. That tabernacle was in Gibeon. So he said that I don't care what will happen to my kingdom. I love God and I wanted to offer sacrifice in the tabernacle. I will go to God. I will go to God only because I need Him. He went to God. Gibeon is also the place where Joshua fought with Amorite and the sun stopped. That is the place. God's tabernacle was in Gibeon. So if you know who was Solomon, he's a young king. He relied on God only for his kingdom, for his strength, everything he relies. He has heard from his father how good God is. He heard those promises and he hold on to promises. He doesn't worry about what will happen. He forgave his enemies. He doesn't worry. He doesn't care about whether somebody will rebel or not. I am a young kid. I am 20 years. I'm young, but I wanted to go as close as possible to God. He went all the way from Jerusalem to Gibeon, 97 miles away, to offer sacrifice. He could have done this in Jerusalem. He didn't do it. He went to Gibeon. Do you think that God does not love this young king whose heart is after him, who wants to do everything right? He wants to stay close to him. Don't you like when your children, your son or daughter, come close to you? They want to hug you. They want to cuddle you. Don't you like that? King Solomon is going to God. God, I am here. God, I am here. And God appeared to him and said that, Solomon, ask. Whatever you will ask, I'll give it to you. The God of Solomon is same God today. His promises are same today. Believe on those promises. Go to God. And I guarantee you, He will come in your dream and say that, ask whatever you want me to do, and I will give it to you. Because He is a faithful Father. God bless you, and thank you.